your lucky. Bottom line, taking just a few minutes to check your privacy options could keep your driving habits from becoming someone else's property. Really fascinating. Thank you to Tanya Liliana Williams for that report. California was the first state to require companies to give their customers the option to opt out after having information shared or sold. 15 other states have enacted similar privacy laws since then. 3 more states have similar laws set to take effect next year. All right, more money headlines now. Samsung says its Mexico-made TVs are staying out of Trump's tariff fire, giving it an advantage over the competition. CNBC's Savannah Hanau joins me now with that and other money news. Hey, good morning, Savannah. Hey, Vicky, good morning to you. So Samsung says that its TV business will likely be less affected by U.S. tariffs than rivals. The majority of its products are made in Mexico, which largely escaped President Trump's 10% baseline and steeper reciprocal tariffs. Now, Samsung will still track changes in policy and does plan to allocate production across about 10 different hubs around the world. TikTok will stay on Apple's App Store for at least 2 more months after receiving assurances from U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi. Now, President Trump signing an executive order on Friday to extend the deadline for TikTok's Chinese parent company ByteDance to sell its U.S. operations or face a ban. Now, Bloomberg reports Bondi wrote a letter to Apple saying it will be penalized for posting the app on its platform. Apple responded to a request for comment. And Easter is the fastest annual Krispy Kreme has in the U.S. to celebrate the season. It's unveiling the Poppy Easter collection today with 3 flavors all available in store or for pickup and delivery through Krispy Kreme's app and website. And they include a Bunny Basket Donut. This is an original glaze dipped in chocolate singing, decorated with chocolate buttercream and topped with a candy bunny Mickey. Wow, that donut's doing a whole lot, Solana. Yeah, and the chocolate bunny too. It is Easter after all. All right, Solana, thank you so much. Well, for the 12th time in program history, the UConn Huskies, they're waking up as national champions after dominating this year's Women's March Madness tournament. UConn lifted their latest title after beating South Carolina in Sunday night's final down in Tampa Bay. This is their first match since 2016. The March Madness excitement isn't over just yet. NBC News correspondent Houston and Florida will face off in the men's final tonight. Sam, good morning. Wow, what a journey for Houston in particular. And look at you on that ladder.
Yeah, look at me on this ladder. I haven't fallen yet. Thank you. Good morning. And that's right. In a few hours, these 2 teams are going to square off Houston and the Florida Gators. Someone is climbing the ladder tonight, coming down the nets. This right here is the exclamation point they've got any college basketball season. But as you mentioned, what a game for the UConn Huskies last night. They captured their 12th national title at star guard Paige Bueckers, ending her storied career with a record. The Huskies are dogs once again. UConn pouncing on South Carolina with a 59 win in its NCAA basketball championship. And the storybook ending for star guard Paige Bueckers, resulting in #1 pick in next year's WNBA.
So much gratitude for everything this program has meant to me, for how much my teammates have shown me.
Head coach Gino Williams' 12th title gives UConn those championships in all of college basketball history. Men's or women's, with the time at UCLA. It's been a long time since I've been that emotional as a player for a court. For South Carolina coach John Staley, it's a big event to go big match from 2022.
I just gave you all the air. Mostly there.
Now, all eyes turn back to Texas, where tonight Florida and Houston are set to face off in the men's national championship. It comes after the snap offer of Florida nail-biter. And senior Walter Clayton Jr. is sticking a staggering 34 points, but it's Houston's late game heroics that pulled out a stunning comeback over Duke. The Cougars have 6 with just over 30 seconds to go as Emmanuel Shaw locked in. It's probably really winning with 94.6% at point time. How did you see that play?
As long as it's time on the clock, because it's not over until it's over.
Freshman Cooper Flag receives this shot and punched on, allowing Houston to purchase the final. It's a far cry. Kelvin Sampson using a bullhorn in 2016 to persuade fans to come to the games. Our third home basketball game to Florida. As for UConn, this win comes from the the Huskies' very first national championship. And Paige Bueckers gives her coach a ton of credit. Vicky, is just everything. And this was for UConn, by the way, far more than just a one-woman show. AZ Flood and Sarah Strong, their star freshman, each of them scored 24 points as well. Right? Almost combined. Strong is the top recruiter in the country. She's only a freshman. The future right now is so bright for UConn. As Gina Orellana, that is going to be the oldest coach, men's 4 winnings to win a title. This is 12. But here's what the others on the inside. Coach Sampson, he wins on Houston. He becomes the oldest coach on the men's side to win a ring. So it's really wiser to be one of those young guys.
You know what I was
Really
saying?
no. That's it. Woman hold the bottom.
It all shows when it gets down to a touchdown. Before I let you go, I'm going to ask you about that ladder. I'm glad to see you back on the ground. I know that I could take all those steps and walk and I can't do that high. But is it starting to the ladder they use, right? To like cut down the nets?
It is. No, this is the more ladder. It's a lot sturdier. And then I also found out that Tracy Rosen, who seemed apparently last year, got on this thing with heels. So if she can do that, I should be able to walk up on your mind of giant feet and, you know, everything but nice and sturdy as everyone else. It's a great feeling, I gotta tell you, especially if you won a championship.
Love to see it. Well, we're with that. We'll take it tonight, Sam. Thanks for all your coverage. Coming up, a reunion for the ages. After the break, our own Jill Fryer sits down and playing a bunch cast of the Goonies to talk about the film's lasting legacy and the hopes of a long-awaited sequel. Well, it is now moving forward 40 years later. That's next.
Make sure it's right.
At Montera, every delicious sip of award-winning wine starts with
I know it's not straight right now.
turns out fun for a better tomorrow brings you today's very best flavors. Good orgasm. Montera.
Lowe's knows spring brings you growing pains. Sometimes growing pains.
So it needs food. Full sun, huh? Plant these together. Absolutely. Fits for you.
Grow your dream garden. Buy Lowe's rewards. Lowe's knows how to help you spring.
There's an easier way. From little fixes to big projects. Taking care of your home is easy with Thumbtack. Download the Thumbtack app and start caring for your home today. This is spiking, as anybody who has been in the grocery store has seen. What does this mean for people? Cheap AI. Talk to me like I'm James. And you know me. How big of a deal is this?
NBC News mobile app. Get connected to your favorite news shows. For the top stories, breaking news, and live video. Download the NBC News mobile app now.
Some Democrats have done more to address the debt when they were in power. Our constant Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security off the table. They've been shut down. It's not the past.
NBC News mobile app. Get connected to your favorite news shows. For the top stories, breaking news, and live video. Download the NBC News mobile app now.
What's the message that you're trying to get out to them people? What is it that you're calling? Here's this hour about fuel money. So why is it so tough like that? It's a generation of that. It's ABC News. Democrats have done more to address the debt when they were in power. Our constant Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security off the table. If it's Sunday,
We end this hour with a reunion for the ages. Several members of the cast of the Goonies got together over the weekend to celebrate the film's 40th anniversary. The movie was directed by the late great Richard Donner. Back then, he called the young actors wonderful, nuts, and the warmest, craziest things that had ever come into his life. I had a chance to sit down with the cast, and well, now I know how you think. As adults, they're as rambunctious, as boisterous, as tightly knit as they were 40 years ago. Together, they reflected on what they created and spoke candidly about the long-awaited movie sequel that's now finally moving forward. Far from the boondocks of Oregon in a Washington, D.C. convention called AwesomeCon, Goonies fans found their own treasure, the cast of their favorite movie adventure.
It's our time down here.
Sean Astin, Gary Green,
This was my baby.
Cole Feldman,
And I have baby too, something about baby.
and Martha Plimpton. Plus, Joe Pantoliano and Robert Davi were the Teller brothers.
Wow, so close, but so far.
You guys still have this incredible bond, right?
We really were like a family, a big, dysfunctional, but loving family. Please never say die.
He follows a band of friends in their perilous quest for a pirate stash, so they can save their homes from development. They don't make movies like this anymore. The thing is about this movie that people just love so much every corner. The real magic is the moral of the story. Because the moral of the story is it's a bunch of kids trying to save their families, trying to save their friendships, and trying to keep their community strong.
Its life really came out of the advent of video, rental, and cable.
So close.
It resonated so much with kids because they could watch it over and over.
Plus, there were memorable villains for Taliban, led by the late Ian Ramsey. We have to kind of kids.
Go.
It was just so much fun. Before movies. And we had that sibling rivalry already.
We hated each other's guts.
Terror and love, like that scene in the cage when Carrie's character kisses Sean, but thinks she's kissing his older brother.
I misread the script, and I thought the kiss at the end was the same too. I thought I had stolen her from the brother. So when I'm looking at that kiss at the end, I was really bummed.
How do you feel about knowing this?
I know, I feel so terrible.
Earlier this year, much of the cast reunited to honor fellow Goonie Keely Kwan, who played Dana. That rekindled questions about his sequel. Days later, Warner Brothers confirmed the follow-up is in the works, with Steven Spielberg and Chris Columbus producing. No word on plot or cast.
That's it.
But I can tell you for sure, Spielberg and Chris Columbus have a recipe for running on stock. We wish them well, and if they come to us, we'll consider it that way.
After it came out, Steven Spielberg sent me a poster saying, I'm still a Goonie, how about you? He's wanted to make a sequel, and he's the sole reason it hasn't been made now because it hasn't been right. The fact that he's endorsing this next thing is why we know it's going to happen, and it's why it has a better chance to be spectacular.
Sean Astin also told me fans want a sequel, they earned a sequel, and whether it's good or bad, nothing can take away what they accomplished 40 years ago. What we do know is the writer was going to have to make the script, as for the rest, including director and cast, is going to have to wait. Because for this hour morning news now, don't go anywhere, the news continues right now. We begin this hour with breaking news on Wall Street, where the markets opened and the markets dropped as President Trump's trade tariffs continue to roil those financial markets. The sell-off in U.S. stocks is showing no signs of slowing this morning. All three major indices are tanking right now. Similar story for European markets, but they're also currently down, and Asia was closed in the red. Investors are spooked by a
Who goes there? I'm just
global economic recession. Joining us now to talk more about all of this.
put some plants right there.
Silver, good morning, both of you. I think this would Saudi, the president facing some backlash after golfing over the weekend, posting that on social media. Is the White House concerned at all about this? What are we hearing from the president?
Well, the White House is not concerned about this, is the short answer here. I talked to the White House official. That President Trump golfing as the markets are showing strain and economists are worried about a recession is like visiting a friend and going to a birthday party while a friend is recovering from surgery. So it's really in some ways them saying that the president believes that this is all going to be fine, that the economy is going to recover, that that friend is quote unquote the economy, that they're all going to be okay. But the president is going to continue to sort of enjoy himself and do the things that he believes he can do while also doing the job of the presidency from South Florida. Now, the president himself did answer questions of Air Force One yesterday. He said that he believes that all of this will be fine. This is short term. He said this is like someone taking medicine, was his metaphor. He also said doing this on purpose because there was a question of whether or not he was, if there was a poster he posted saying he was playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. He hinted that he was doing all this on purpose. The president saying that is not true, but that he does believe that the economic strategy and the terror strategy that he's pursuing is one that's going to be making the country a lot of money, and also one that's going to force countries to negotiate savings. He's fielding calls from a number of countries that are hoping to negotiate.
Bill, let's bring you in here. The down, really up and down. It's down about 1,000 right now, about 2.5%. It was worse about 20 minutes ago. Now we got people like Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan Chase, warning about recession. Investor Bill Ackman saying the president's losing the confidence of business leaders. What does that tell us about where things stand?
Well, business leaders like the ones you just mentioned are very scared because they're watching these losses, but they also see where this is going. Where this is going, higher inflation, slower growth, stagflation, that can turn into a the markets are really just the warning siren about all this because it doesn't really lead to the future. And they're saying this is not going to be good for corporate profits. This is not going to be good for the global economy. That means layoffs. That means a lot of people suffering, especially those in the middle class. Gasoline.
Hey!
This is putting investors in a really bad situation, especially individual investors that have been depending and trusting the capital markets.
We could hear some terms today or maybe later this week that people aren't familiar with. Circuit breaker, all it begs the question. At what point can trading just stop?
Yeah, a circuit breaker is something that's triggered on the floor of the stock exchange or any of the major exchanges. But the S&P 500 called 7% recession, they trigger a circuit breaker, the home trading for a second, to make sure all those losses get processed and get flowed through the system for fraud. Another 13%, we call that level 2. That's another hell of a trade. One day, they can see that 1987, less level 3.
What do you got over there? Where's Paul got?
And that's there yet. The word is placed.
Paul, what are you chewing on? What do you got? You're chewing on wires over there, Joe.
Don't want old stocks. They don't trust
Wire over there.
trust the fact
Oh,
that
shit.
this economy's going to start growing. And retail investors were saying, I'm scared now. I was telling the keep investing week after week through my 401k or IRA.
Don't even say I'm
All of
kicking
a
it for
sudden,
it.
lights up all the things we've done since last year.
In the issue, we saw protests all over the country. And
You know how we put them up, Joe?
demonstrations, we know they were organized
Put 'em up.
around issues
Wanna
like
go on the
like
screen?
deportation.
I don't know, buddy. They're outside.
Like from Doge. Talk about what we saw and the anger.
That's today's kid.
rallies.
Well, we definitely saw a lot of the anger protests directed at President Trump and at Elon Musk because of his work with the Department of Government Efficiency, saying that they were really being cruel and that they were making people lose jobs at a time where they are, very worried about whether a recession might be coming. But because the president had just also passed his shares, we did hear from protesters. To be like 1,200 protests around the country, but also globally, places
did hear from protesters also say that they were not in agreement with the president handling the U.S. economy and saying that that could be something that really hurts people at the bank because the president, of course, ran on the idea of lowering costs for Americans, and now there are a lot of people that are worried that he's going to not only slow U.S. growth, but also really make it harder for everyday Americans to pay for things like eggs, cars, appliances, you name it.
So as Steve was pointing out here, Caleb, the investors aren't hearing anything from the president right now that would ease their fears or ease their anxiety. What is it they
All right, that's all I was doing.
Paul, if you get electrocuted, that's
Paul, leave that alone. All right, here. Let's get out of here. Go see who's awake. It's almost time to go. Till next time.